Hey, hello everybody! Welcome to my channel and welcome to today's video! Bonjour tout le monde! Look where I am! I am at high sea. I am somewhere between Spain and England on a ferry that will take more than 30 hours to get from Portsmouth to Santander in northern Spain. And today I'm going to tell you a little bit about how to have a comfortable and perfect overnight ferry crossing. 8 tips to have the best crossing of your life. In the whole world, you can find ferries that will take you to your destination, where you have to spend 1 or maybe even more nights on board. Why taking a ferry instead of a plane when the journey is so long? Well, the biggest advantage is, of course, that you can bring your car on board with everything you want to take with you. Your children, your mother-in-law, your furniture, plants, animals, a caravan, boxes of wine. Number 1, my first tip already starts with booking your crossing. If you're taking the ferry and you're having your car with you, at some point you will have to give the dimensions of your car. Don't try to save money by making your car smaller than it is. You will not be the only one on board. In the high season, it will be even immensely busy. And by not giving the right sizes, your big four-wheel drive might end up squeezed in between other cars with hardly any space to get out of your car. The last 20 years, cars have gotten bigger and bigger, but the ferries have not always followed that trend. So keep that in mind. And if you need special assistance, ask for it in advance. Don't wait until you're on board. The crew will have to respect a tight timetable and may not have the time to deal with your unexpected special requests. My second tip, and then we're still at the first booking, is try to really read well the description of your overnight cabin. Often the cabins are small. We not all have the money for a big luxurious cabin. When going for a 2-berth cabin, find out whether it consists of bunk beds or twin beds. The beds will be small and the ladder up to the upper bunk bed will be very simple. So be sure to know what you want or what you need. If you need twin beds, but the ferry does not have 2-berth twin cabins, you will have to settle for a 4-berth cabin, and both of you can sleep on the lower berth. And we're getting to number 3 on my list of tips of how to have a successful overnight ferry crossing. Number 3 is concerning your pet, your dog, your cat, whatever animal you want to bring on board. If the ferry of your choice welcomes pets on board, you might have options. Some ferries let dogs on a leash wander around with you in public areas. Other ferries have more strict rules. You might have to leave your dog in your car with occasional small organized visits. Maybe you will have to put your animal in a kennel, and if you're lucky, the ferry will have pet-friendly cabins in dog-restricted areas of the ship. Make sure you know where the dog can walk around, where it is accepted and where it cannot be. If your dog goes into your cabin, that's just the most perfect solution for both you as a dog owner and your dog. If your dog goes into the kennels, don't forget to bring its bed, its blanket, its favorite toys. It will be a very stressful night for your pet. Make it as comfortable as possible for your dog or cat. There probably will be a dog park of some sort, so you can spend as much time as you want with your dog baby. If the ferry port of arrival is in another country, then make sure all the dog papers are in order. You don't want to be refused access to the ship because the animal passport is not updated. Now imagine you are on board, you're in the garages, your car is parked and you want to go upstairs to the public areas. Often, on longer or night crossings, you are not allowed to go back to the garages during the sailing. Make sure you bring everything you need with you to your cabin or public areas. There might not be a possibility to buy simple medicines like aspirin on board. The drinking water often has a strange chemical taste, so bring your own if you don't want to buy. The crossing can be long when there's no entertainment on board. Bring card games or a good book or work to catch up with. The ferry might have other sockets than you're used to, so don't forget your adapter and phone charger, because the onboard shops are not always open around the clock. Keep that in mind. Number 5. My tip number 5 concerns the technology on board. When at high seas, the main internet and phone provider will be an international satellite. Put your devices on airplane mode and only use the onboard Wi-Fi to avoid all additional costs. The international satellite does not only concern your personal device, it also concerns all equipment on board. The ferry can be brand new and sophisticated, but when the satellite connection fails, you will notice it right away. No TV channels in your cabins, no Wi-Fi, no card payments. And this is beyond the ferry company's control. Be prepared, have cash on you, so you can still buy your glass of wine, read a good book, or discuss the holiday destination with other passengers. Number 6. Seasickness. Make sure you are prepared to get seasick and have everything you need with you to deal with it. So get some medication because it might not be available on board. Get some fresh air wherever you can. And if you still feel queasy, your stomach will feel better full than empty. And not too much water or other liquids, and certainly no sour drinks like orange juice. Having said that, apparently drinking a Coke can help a bit. And if all that still doesn't work, just lay down and wait. Nothing else can be done. And remember that the minute the ship arrives in the ferry port, your seasickness will be gone. Almost at the end of all my tips, number 7. Realize that it's a ferry and not a hotel. So it comes with all the difficulties a ferry can have with what a hotel does not have. Food and drinks at sea have to deal with other logistics than in a hotel, for example. Much longer and more complex, and therefore the prices will be higher than on land. No one will come in at night bringing in today's newspaper, so you will have to do with reading yesterday's news. If there's a stock or supply shortage, this can never be resolved during the sailing, so sold out is sold out. And this is very important. Be careful when moving around the ship. If you tip over a bag or fall down your bunk bed and break your leg, you will have to wait for hours and hours and sometimes a whole day before being able to get to a hospital. A helicopter will only show up in very serious emergencies like a heart attack or a stroke. And in such circumstances, the time of arrival at your destination will be much delayed. Here we are. We have the last tip to make you have a wonderful overnight crossing on board a ferry boat, and that is to relax and enjoy. Sailing on board a ferry towards your holiday destination is one of the nicest ways to start your adventure, especially when you choose one of those ferries with entertainment, shops, cinemas, spas, bars and different restaurants on the ship. It makes your journey an unforgettable voyage instead of a simple way to get from A to B. There you have it. Those were my 8 tips for a wonderful crossing, and we'll see each other again next time. And for now I say au revoir et à bientôt.